Hatchie got to London, although Charlie already knows this, but he has no time for this now. Charlie returns to hacking the file. He goes to a more powerful complex where he still manages to hack the cipher. Inside, there was data that the authorities themselves launched the drones, and for the citizens, they came up with a story about a bomb. The news shows news about the elimination of elite army units. Moore is behind it all, who is also Charlie's boss. Before falling asleep, he tries to contact his wife, but she does not pick up the phone and he sends her a message, and upon returning to work, he saw Moore waiting for him. O'Brien explains that a terrorist attack happened in London. Alas, Sarah died. Charlie cannot believe it, then Moore turns on the news. One of the recordings clearly shows Sarah. Charlie rushes home, which is surrounded by dozens of reporters with whom Charlie has no desire to communicate. The next day, knowing the last file, Charlie cannot understand how we're able to get to the hotel where there are hundreds of CCTV cameras. Moore hopes that they will figure everything out. That day, Sarah's coffin was brought. Among the things was a gift that Sarah bought for him, which upsets Charlie even more. He cannot sit at home. He goes to work where he begins to analyze all the CCTV cameras and puts together the entire terrorist operation. It all started with the theft of a car, which they used to get to the service entrance, not forgetting to get rid of all traces of DNA. Most likely they had a business meeting with a corporation from Indonesia, but something happened. They started shooting. To protect themselves from the police, the bandits took hostages. Thanks to the orders they gave, Charlie made out the voices and found out who these bandits were. Russian Mishka, Special Forces soldier Lawrence, mercenary Horst officer Gretham. Charlie sees that the authorities are not going to react to his follow-up, which means they already know everything. Caleb once again says that they are working in this direction. Since Charlie himself developed the security systems, he knows how to bring a chip into the building, on which he loads all the secret data, after which he shows Moore his mistakes, due to which there were casualties among the civilian population. If they don't help him, then this data will go to the CIA director, and if they try to kill him, the data will be sent to him in 5 hours. Or they will train him as an agent, give him fake documents, weapons, and information on where to look for these bandits. When Charlie leaves, Moore says that Charlie is bluffing, but Caleb doesn't want unnecessary risks, and for now, they need to find where Charlie stores the data, and when they find it, Charlie will be killed during training. The agents analyze how Charlie could bring prohibited items into the complex, but they don't understand anything. But they see that every time Charlie went to the bar, there was a disc in the sound machine, which had no music, only some noise. At this time, Charlie arrives at the training center. Henderson will help him. It is very difficult for Charlie to even shoot. He hits the target only from a very close distance, so various bombs are like toys for him. Henderson is very surprised by his skill. Closer to night, Henderson came to Charlie. He understands that Charlie is not created for elimination, but he does not see another way to avenge his wife. Then Henderson gives him a gun and orders to aim at him. Charlie is very scared and he puts the gun away. The agents analyzed the disc and came to the conclusion that Charlie was bluffing, but Charlie had been eavesdropping on them the whole time. Moore orders Henderson to catch Charlie, but when he came to him, Charlie had already disappeared. Moore guesses that there was a bug in the file and says that this is treason. Charlie gets to London, and as soon as his passport was entered into the database, Henderson was sent to catch him. Charlie quickly got to one of the bandits, Gradam. He tracked down the house she lived in. When one of the residents left, he got inside. Charlie doesn't know how to pick locks, but he learns how from a YouTube tutorial. Inside Gradam's apartment was a schedule of her life, as well as a weapon, which he takes for himself. Charlie realizes that Gradam will soon be returning home, because of which he goes up to the floor above, even has a chance to pull the trigger,
but he lacks strength and simply runs away to the hotel. Having cooled down a bit, he studies the photo. Gradam often goes to the same hospital where he treats allergies. And then Charlie came up with a new plan. He buys flowers and waits until Gradam gets to the hospital where she undergoes some procedures. The doctor sees that the monitoring is not working well and leaves for other staff. Charlie takes advantage of the moment and enters the
office. He locks the compartment, feeds flower pollen into the ventilation. Charlie promises to help her if she tells where the Hearst is hiding. It was he who eliminated it. Gradam has difficulty speaking, then Charlie opens the door. A fight breaks out between them. Charlie manages to lose to Gradam, who tries to escape but gets hit by a car. At least the phone didn't break. The next day, he gets to Marseille. The CIA got word that Graham was eliminated. O'Brien asks Moore who could have done it, and he answers, one of his own. Charlie never eliminated other people, because of which he drinks down his emotions. He sees Henderson among the people and immediately gives it to him. Henderson goes through Charlie's pits, who decides to climb into the toilet. However, there were no windows through which he could escape. Then he decides to approach Henderson, who explains that he found him because of Gretch's phone. Charlie shows the timer. A small explosion occurs. Charlie escapes in the noise. Henderson wants to check his geolocation, but the phone no longer works. He has to ask Inclivian for help. After a while, a woman who calls herself Inclivian approaches him at the meeting place. She says that she became a hacker after the death of her husband, who worked for the CIA, but he was eliminated, although they pretend it was an accident. Lawrence is engaged in arms trade, and Inclivian offers to meet him halfway under the pretext of selling weapons. And Mishka loves to travel, which he shares on social networks. One of the photos makes a woman, by which they find her account and place of residence. At this time, O'Brien asks Moore to stop doing business behind her back. He replies that her predecessor said the same thing. The couple finds Mishka, who is staying at a hotel with a hanging pool. True, Henderson is already there. Charlie sees a man who seems familiar to him. Inclivian studies the man and realizes that he is an agent of the cheese. When Mishka climbs into the pool, Charlie appears, who is asked to tell where the horse is hiding. If he does not cooperate, the pool will be destroyed, and since the bear is silent, they have to press the button, after which Charlie gives Daru. Henderson almost caught him, but another agent flies out at them. Charlie sees how the agents fight each other. The man takes out a gun and wounds Henderson, but he takes the gun away and emerges victorious. Agent are sure that Charlie could not have thought of everything alone, and after checking the messages, they reach the Inclivian, and since the agent with this name is dead, his wife is behind everything. Late at night, an armed squad appears near the house. The couple escapes through a hidden passage, but they are spotted by a drone. The soldiers open fire. Poulet seriously wounds the Inclivian. Charlie drags her neighboring seat and continues to escape. The girl didn't survive, though. He makes an appointment with Lou tomorrow. In Romania, and for the CIA, he scans his face and hacks into cameras in Berlin, which makes the CIA think he was caught on camera. When Lawrence arrives at the meeting place, he sees boxes and a phone. A call comes in. Charlie asks Lawrence to look in the boxes, filled with bombs. If he moves, everything will blow up. Charlie asks him to help find Horst. He says that Horst works on Russian territory and gets his goods in the Baltic. All the necessary names are in his phone. Charlie picks up the phone and leaves, while everything explodes behind him. Siru realizes that they have been deceived. The next day, Charlie sends Lawrence's cat and sees how the man takes out his phone. He takes several photos, by which he learns the name of the yacht and the routes it takes. But when he was ready for the final step, he is knocked out and drops his wife's gift. He is sure that Charlie is one of those who cannot eliminate someone by looking them in the eye, and to what extent he gives him his gun, still Charlie could not shoot. When suddenly the yacht changes course, it turns out that Charlie managed to steal the yacht and change the final stop. They are surrounded by Finnish special forces and taken into custody. After a while, O'Brien announces that the CIA has undergone a purge and bad agents have been identified. And Charlie packed up the plane and flew away, wherever his eyes look. Well, we will be glad to receive your like. We will be back very soon. Bye.